So have you ever wondered why cat and dog owners keep on feeding the wrong food to the pets that they love? You know, we all know that convenience food is bad for us, but why do we inflict it on our pets as well? So I'm here today at Nurturing by Nature, and I'm going to find out just why we get it so wrong and what we can do about it. I'm joined by Nettie Plass, who's the founder and dietitian of Nurturing by Nature, and by her daughter Emma. So Nettie, tell me, what was it that first triggered your interest in natural pet food?
Good morning. It was really the fact that it didn't feel right. All this carbohydrate was not something that dogs would naturally eat. So why were we feeding it? And that was going on from that. There was also an awful lot of illnesses that seemed to be appearing that were not necessarily something you'd expect to see. So it's just really, and it started off with that sort of niggling doubt.
And so how did that niggling doubt kind of develop in your mind to become what is today a successful business?
It's really a question of trying to make things better, trying to improve the situation, but not really understanding what the problem was. So in those days we were told, basically, if it didn't come out of a tin or a packet and was labelled dog food or cat food, you can't feed it to your dog or cat. I suppose we'd all been brainwashed into believing that that was the truth. You can't feed it unless it says it's dog or cat food. You can't feed human food.
I guess it's one of those things that with hindsight now seems blindingly obvious, that if you think back about where cats and dogs have come from, what their natural diet would have been. Yet in those days we were somehow brainwashed into manufactured prepared food. So how did you go about researching it? How did you go about unearthing all this information?
It was not easy in those days. There were the odd articles that came up, and also there was a book that came out at that time. Do you remember it? The one with regard to animals actually self-medicating and...
The zoo farmer, Konoski.
Yeah.
Yes, we had that book, yeah. And you didn't exactly have the internet to rely upon like we do nowadays.
No, so it would really have been a question of articles that you managed to come across, word of mouth from a few people.
Did you perhaps have a bit more insight because you were working at a veterinary practice at the time?
I would say that helped, but not obviously from representatives from pet food manufacturers.
No, of course not.
Or even pharmaceutical manufacturers either, because their main interest was to resolve whatever the problems were, not necessarily why those problems occurred.
Yes, so it's about getting back to the root cause of the problem.
Yeah,
And
yes.
From your research, this seemed to be very much a root cause that was based on diet.
Yes, yes, and it seemed to work right the way through, not just with animals, but with humans as well. So there was a correlation we knew between, that was becoming more and more apparent, between carbohydrates, sugars and cancers. And of course it was really triggered when Fred, my boxer, got his first bout of cancer.